We are now recording. Thank you for joining us today for this Stay Connected. It is just one day before our statewide after school conference. I did want to do a quick share that the conference is coming up tomorrow in Kearney. You cannot register at this point to join us in Kearney if you haven't already registered, but you can still register to join the conference virtually if you want to do that. Looks like we have about 20% of our attendees will be attending the conference virtually, but most of us will be in Kearney tomorrow. There's also a schedule online, and you can download the full conference program if you want details about who is presenting at the conference or who is sharing walk and talk tables with resources for supporting after school programs. Do look forward to seeing many of you in Kearney tomorrow. Today we are hearing from the Click2Engineering team about some of the resources that we've developed for professional development around engineering and after school time. My name is Sandra Frerichs, and I'm part of the Click2Engineering team with Nebraska 4-H. And I'm excited to share with you, this is a fairly new website. A lot of people haven't heard about it yet, and it has a lot of resources that can really enhance your programming in after school around engineering. And I am joined today by Becky Swanson, who's our boss on this project. Becky, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Becky Swanson. I'm a 4-H STEM specialist here in Nebraska, and I am the project lead on Click2Engineering. And I am so excited to be able to share this website with you today because it has just an extraordinary amount of resources for after school educators and out of school time educators to really learn about engineering, learn about how to teach engineering, some lessons. And so we're going to go through some pieces of that today and show you the website and really sort of dig in just a little bit. And then just want to say up front, this website is of course free. We don't even ask you to sign in when you jump on. And so it's absolutely available to anybody who wants to use it. So thanks for joining us today to talk about it. And thanks for posting that link in the chat, Sandra. Appreciate it.
The work on this website was made possible by funding from STEM Next. STEM Next supports STEM learning by building knowledge, building systems, and building capacity within the after-school field. And their investments help education leaders, policymakers, and funders understand how to effectively build the STEM learning field. And we are very happy to have their support for this work and to help them with their mission. The Click2Engineering helps address the need to support out-of-school time programs with resources that teach engineering in a way that programs can use it at any time when they need it. We also offer high quality and inclusive STEM learning. We help programs offer high quality, inclusive engineering learning experiences, particularly focused on engaging girls in engineering. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about what resources we have that you can use to fulfill your mission.
Right, so one of the things we really believe about in Click2Engineering is that the opportunity to do engineering and play is really crucial for both us as educators in our professional development and for youth as they learn about engineering. And this is why if you go to the Click2Engineering website, there's a learning activities page that's really a very important part of the site. And Chandra, do we have a visual of that website? Or that part of the website?
No, but I can pull it up.
That would be great. Thank you. So you all can see what we're looking at. So Sandra will pull that up. And I'll just say that these are these learning activities page. You can see that right in the header up there on the sort of middle where it says learning activities. And these activities, right, they're meant to be sort of twofold. One is that they are, of course, activities that can be used with kids, and they are written in such a way as to support educators in using those with youth. But they're also resources that adults can use in their own development. So if you're somebody who's not particularly familiar with engineering, or wants to learn more about it, you can also do these activities on your own to sort of start to get that engineering experience, and which will help you, teach youth about it and help lead youth activities around those. So we want to really highlight. And right now, of course, this website is fairly new still. It's we are adding new activities sort of all the time, and so please do keep checking back. We have high opinions about the activities we put on there, and so we are quality controlling the ones we're posting. So, all right, Sandra.
And along with the importance of hands-on experiences, we want to focus on how youth are thinking about engineering, how they're perceiving it. And we use the framework of the 10 practices for developing an engineering mindset as an underlying structure for the website. And if you want to learn more about the practices, we have a webinar that was recorded in May. Becky shared the link to that. If you'd like to kind of explore what that is, what those practices are and how they relate to engineering, that's really kind of fundamental to the work that we do, because the videos, the training resources, the engineering activities that we have on the website are all selected and designed to support youth in developing an engineering mindset. And not just our youth, we also want to help our staff develop an engineering mindset so they can communicate that to youth and help them learn about engineering by doing engineering. And that's why those activities that Becky shared with you are so important. We also have a Learning Blast, which is a short, focused resource to help you learn for yourself or train your team about each of the practices. Right now, we're about halfway through getting all the Learning Blasts developed. By the end of the year, we should have 3 or 4 more up on the website, so you can see those coming up fairly quickly. Each Learning Blast focuses on a practice and uses video and interaction, reflection to help you think about what is known in terms of expertise from the field about that practice and how you can use it in your programming. And the example that Becky has shared with you is the practice for using a systematic engineering design process, which is really kind of fundamental to all of the other practices that we support.
So I just want to clarify, I actually dropped a couple links in there all right in a row. So the first one was that engineering mindset webinar, just in case you want to hear us talk a little bit more about those mindset practices. The second link I dropped in there was the sort of landing page for the practices, so you can see all of the different learning blasts on there. And then last one I dropped in there was the actual link to the learning blast for the use and engineering design process. Sorry about that, Sandra. I was dropping things left and right in there.
That's great.
Sorry, muted myself. All right, so one of the other things that we hold dear for Click2Engineering is this idea that we're engaging learners through really high quality program and engineering curriculum. And so when we think about this, we as when we, Sandra and I and our team, as teacher educators facilitate workshops or communities of practice, which we'll talk about in a minute, for educators, we always include hands-on experiences. Whether these events are in person or virtual, we're always actually doing engineering. And we really want to encourage and support educators in doing the same with youth, including these hands-on engineering experiences. And the reason we do this is so that both educators and youth really gain the experience of developing their engineering skills and their practices by actually doing engineering, by doing the thing right. We know this is how we learn things. There's just this really cool interaction that happens when youth or educators are doing engineering activities, and then the engineering practices that we, Sandra, and the mindsets that Sandra was just talking about, that we really can focus on. And we love how that comes together in the moment. And that's really why we encourage educators to really use really high quality engineering learning activities. As I said, there are many of those on our website so far. And then also why we use them in our workshops or community practices when we're working with educators.
So we've already talked about some of the resources that are available on the website to help you build your comfort with engineering. The learning blast, the focus on the practices, we shared with you one of the webinar recordings. There's also a blog page on there. But one of the, in addition to these sort of resources, we also have a community of practice that is a professional learning experience designed for out-of-school time educators that really gives them opportunities to engage with engineering, to talk about it, and to work together with colleagues. We always have one of those coming up, and right now we actually have two, because we have our fall community of practice starts next week, and that will go for 8 weeks, and then we'll take a little bit of a break. And in February, we will start the winter community of practice. Again, that's 8 weeks, February 1st through, it says March 8th on the slide, but I'm pretty sure it's March 15th. So I think that's an error on my part. But those are opportunities for you to learn a little bit more about engineering, and they're focused on those practices that we talked about. You're welcome to sign up for either or both of the communities of practice, because they each will be focusing on different practices. We usually do one practice each week. So you'll be learning 4 different practices in each of the segments. So the link for more information is on our website, and it is a chance for you to join with colleagues, not just here in Nebraska, but all over the US that are interested in engineering education. It's always fun because we have some teachers, we have some after-school staff, we have some librarians, some community partners, but
Museum educators.
Museum educators, thank you. But we're very focused on out-of-school time learning experiences. So it's great to have that variety of people joining us in the community of practice.
And I'll just, if I might jump in, I also just want to encourage folks. Again, we are well aware that engineering can sometimes not feel like the most comfortable topic to dive into. I just want to encourage people that these communities of practice, we really start at really basic levels, but also we can shift to higher levels. But really, it's meant as a place where everybody is welcome. And so, if you feel like you are someone who knows nothing about engineering, come join us. You'll learn a lot about engineering, and it'll be a really fun and engaging way to do it. It is not a webinar. We do not talk at people during that. It's very interactive. And then also, again, if you are somebody who has a lot of experience with engineering, and you want to learn more about how to integrate your content knowledge about engineering into teaching, please come join us. We do all of that too. So it's really meant for everyone.
Thank you, Becky. And I realized I'm going really fast through these because we're almost to the end of our slides. And I was worried that we were going to run out of time. So I spoke really fast, but I do want to give people an opportunity. Do you have questions? Are you interested in learning more about what that community of practice experience would be like? Or are there resources that you'd like to find out about on the website?
Maybe while people are thinking about that, Sandra, it might be kind of a neat experience to show them one of the learning blasts. because not only do we have those community practice, do we have these learning blasts, which are a way for you to learn independently and asynchronously. And it might be kind of a neat, since we have a few minutes to spare here, a moment to share those. And I see that you're
Great
navigating
idea.
to the website.
So this is our website. If I click up here at the top on practices for an engineering mindset, that takes you to the link that Becky shared earlier, where you can see each of the practices and you can explore each of them. I want to look at using an engineering design process. And so here I can see resources that support this practice. But the very first thing on the page is going to be that learning blast that gives you an introduction to what the practice is. And as you can see, it's really designed to be something that you could go through with your team, just putting it up on the screen like this and going through what exactly do we mean by using a systematic engineering design process, and what does it look like?
And or you can do it on your own too if you don't have a team or you just want to learn more in the moment. And these learning blasts are really intended to take 30 minutes or so at most. And they almost all include a short video to watch, to sort of see those practices in action and to reflect on. And so they're really great little snippet resources to use, but either in a team or individually, outside of the sort of in-person resources we also offer. So.
And I'm gonna go ahead and share the video with you here so you can kind of see what that experience is. This is a after-school program that is on a field trip to visit an engineering team. And I want you to kind of pay attention to how the youth are interacting with the team and notice how the engineers are talking about the engineering design process.
The challenge for the NASA rover challenge.
Sandra, I can hear it but not see it.
It's an engineering challenge.
I don't know if other people have the same.
Yeah, I think that I lost my screen share. I will try again. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it. Can other people see it too?
Okay.
Okay, I see heads nodding.
Start it over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The challenge for the NASA rover challenge. It's a timed obstacle course and an engineering challenge. For the course, we have to have a rover that will fold up within a 5-foot cube. And they graded this one the #1 design in the world. There were 75 teams in 11 different countries. So they came around and they said, this one is awesome. If I had to take one to the moon right now, this is the one that I would take.
In this video, youth are guided through an engineering challenge with engineers. Watch and listen as the lead engineer encourages the youth to work through the challenge by using a design thinking process that includes questioning, brainstorming, making predictions, testing, and retesting.
They do require us to have non-pneumatic tires. Inflated tires won't work. You take that into space, the volume expands too much and it'll blow up the tires. It won't be any good. So an alternative that we're working for, solving one of the design challenges that have been proposed, is the airless result here. This is a sample of the potential tire that we will be using. You can play with it if you want.
So they have to be strong enough to ride on,
Right.
but they have to be weak enough for you to crush.
Exactly.
Can I take this out?
Sure.
What is it?
The little pieces of plastic, it's 3D printed PLA plastic, and so you can print anything you want from the ground up. It is pretty cool. We got some other material. The hardest part about the rover is the design challenge of finding the right kind of wheels. Exactly, because you often have to test a lot. You have to form a lot of prototypes and figure out what material is really going to work and what shape's really going to work. Keep testing and keep testing. Once you find something you think is going to be a solution, this one right here, you tweak it just the way you think you need to go to it, and then you test it. You can see the way we kind of went about our design process as far as modeling them. This right here is called a finite element analysis. With this, you can put in what parts of the material are going to be solid in place and they won't be able to move. And you can put in the material types and kind of edit the settings from there.
Which one's worked the best so far?
So far, the one with the plastic. with the plastic. The
Honeycomb one maybe?
the honeycomb one didn't actually work too well. It was much too rigid. The support was too strong.
So you need to have 4 wheels or?
We need to have 4 wheels. For testing, we can use just one. We can simulate the weight somehow with 150 pounds. I'm sure we have somebody in here that's 150 pounds, and they can just sit on it, and that'll simulate enough weight.
What was the best material to make it out of? Is it still the rubber so far?
Still the rubber. It's called a 2-part urethane. It's actually, you see it out there, these 2 little jugs, you throw them together, and it does something called vulcanized at room temperature. It'll heat itself up and solidify all by itself inside those molds. So that's why now we feel comfortable moving on to the testing phase. We've reached a decision here with the element analysis. We like what we see. So now we're going to test it. If it works great, we'll put those little plastic things in it and make it even better.
Cool.
It is cool. It is cool. We'll actually probably be testing them by Saturday. We'll have a full-scale wheel by Saturday.
I have a question.
Sure. Yeah.
Can you take it outside and let some people drive it?
We can probably take it outside and show you how it's done.
Get where you were in. All right, I'm actually going to do a curve right here.
Sandra, you're muted.
Can you see the Click2Engineering website now?
Yes.
So following the video, there's some questions that you can discuss. And then we talk about why it's important to have a systematic process, how there's different ways to think about the engineering design process. There's not one right answer for what that process looks like, but what's really key, and that's what our key takeaway is that it's a thoughtful process, it's cyclic, it's iterative, so that you try something out, you see if it works, you try it again, and you test to get to the best solution. And there's different ways, different companies or different points of view about how it should be, how that process is described or presented, but the overall, everybody is thinking about how can we take a systematic, structured approach to problem solving. And that's one of the things that engineering really helps us do. And that's something we can help youth learn about by giving them opportunities to experience that.
And Sandra, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say that's what one of our learning blasts looks like.
Perfect. I was just gonna say, while you're on the website, would you mind clicking over the blog so we can just share that one more resource with them before we wrap up today? So I just want to point out that we have these blogs as well that are, interesting stories about different folks' experiences with learning about engineering or teaching engineering. But not only do I want to show you this as a resource, but I also want to encourage you to share with us if you have an idea or a request for a future blog topic. Please feel free to let us know, and we'll drop our email into the chat. It's very easy. It's click2engineering@unl.edu. Oh, thanks, Sandra. Please feel free to email us, and or if you're someone who doesn't already get our newsletters, please feel free to sign up for our newsletters, which if you scroll to the bottom of the website, there's usually a sign up link at the very, very bottom. There it is. Yeah. So those are sort of 2 other things to utilize too. You can see we have a broad array. And I will also just say, if you have any other questions, concerns, ideas for the website or around engineering, or you just want to know how to get started, please feel free to reach out to us as well. We are obviously big fans over here at Click2Engineering, and we are here to help.
Thank you. I'm going to just wrap us up here on the web page and not go back to our slides, because there really isn't more information on the slides. But we do want to encourage you to visit Click2Engineering and to come back frequently, because it is a site that's very much in the development phase. So there's new things coming on to the website. We're did some filming last month, and we'll have several new videos that will be produced in the next few weeks, and new learning blasts. So there's always more resources that are coming to the website. It's not something that is finished and done with yet.
Absolutely.
Does anybody have questions about Click2Engineering, or even any questions about the conference? We just got a couple minutes to finish up before we're done for today.